Because I have time.
I forgot to hit record on the video earlier, so we're only going to
Oh,
get half of it, but that's okay.
we have
It's
all the
fine.
audio, but not
Yeah,
all
the
the
audio's
video.
fine. I fucking knew it. When I had to turn everything off to
Oh,
fix the audio, I knew that was going to fucking happen. Oh well.
distracted you. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Sorry. What were you saying?
Oh, I was saying that as the children get older, it makes it a lot easier.
Yes. Well, that's good. Um, you talked about feeding a toddler.
Yeah.
And you talked about cooking meat earlier
Yeah.
and feeding the family venison
Mm-hmm.
in lieu of buying ground beef in large quantities, which we still do supplement with ground with beef. We've been buying an eighth of a cow,
A quarter of a cow.
quarter of a cow
Mm-hmm.
for a couple years now. Because there comes a point in the year where it's like, wow, we want some like beef steaks or beef
Yeah.
ground or
Switch it
whatever.
up a little
Yeah,
bit.
feeding the family red meats.
Yeah.
Now you're very passionate about the human body and the Weston A. Price diet
Yes.
and what eating red meat does for the jaw and how that translates to the jaw structure and the airways and as far as you're concerned,
You've been listening
babies,
to me.
nursing. We've been together for 20 some years. Of course I listen.
Yeah.
Um,
Oops.
you know, how important, why is it so important to you that we as a family eat red fucking meat?
Well, not just red meat, but like free range meat. Wild game is going to be have the highest nutrient density of all the meat that's out there. It's going to be very different than if you have a cow that's on grain or that even is pasture raised in the summertime, but then in the winter can't be on pasture because everything's frozen
Mhm.
depending on where it is, and then is fed grain. And even when you get an animal at the end of the summer in the fall, that meat is going to be more rich, nutrient dense, because it's been eating fresh greens. And so you're just going to have a better quality of meat. Not that the deer's not worse if you get it in December or January. It's just been using some of those reserves, so you're not going to get as high quality of a meat. Um,
It's high quality, it's just not as nutrient dense.
Correct. Yeah. So animals that are killed or slaughtered in the fall are usually going to have a higher nutrient
You
density.
said something to me this year, which I've never heard you say before, is, and I could correct me if I'm wrong, shooting a deer and harvesting the meat prior to the stress of hunting season will yield a more nutrient dense venison. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, stress hormones in the deer are, I always try to taste the meat. I label all the meat that you bring in and like where you got it, what the date was, what state it was in. And I do try to taste if there's any toughness, depending on how the kill went. I, so I don't know if you
Hmm.
know I do that because
No.
it's my own personal experiment.
What have you found?
I'm not fully finished yet, but like I can say for certain. So the last cow that we got, the
Hmm.
last quarter of a cow that we got that one in the springtime because we reached out
Mm.
in the fall
Oh yeah.
and they said, "Oh, we'll have one ready." And then they were like, "Actually, we won't." And so it wasn't till the spring. And I was kind of like, I should just get this now.
Yeah.
But I felt like that meat was pretty tough. That was not the
It was
best
not as
quality
good as the other
because the other one
cow.
we got at the end of the summer.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
so that one was very apparent to me because every steak that we got out of that cow seemed tough to
Mm,
me.
yeah.
So, and I know that cooking has a lot to do with it as well, but I don't know, consistently across the board. I know you had a kill recently that was a little bit more intense that may have stressed the deer
I
that
couldn't taste anything.
I couldn't taste it either, but I can't
I've
remember.
had some rough kills.
That one was the most recent one, I think.
Yeah.
And I think we had that one for Christmas.
Yeah. It
But
tasted fine. We had
it
it tonight.
tasted just fine. Yeah, and
Yeah.
we did have some tonight. So I didn't notice anything there.
Yeah. That's why I was
They're
curious if
good.
you've been able to taste anything. I can
No.
always taste that it's venison, but
Hmm.
I can't taste any like stress hormone in the meat or anything.
No, it's definitely gotten when we first started eating venison, I did not eat wild game growing up. And I remember going to my friend Dana's dad's house and he had venison stew and she's like, "Do you want some?" And I'm like, I kind of wanted to try it, but I was sort of grossed out at the same time. And I remember trying it and I could tell that it was very gamey. He was a big deer hunter and that was my only experience eating venison before you started hunting. So I was really nervous to start to cook it, but if you cook anything in butter, it'll
Well,
turn out fine.
listen, similarly, my mom has made it very clear that the only time she'd ever had venison, she did not like the way it tasted, and those were all up north deer.
Yeah, we have had that
Yeah.
conversation before.
And I'm shooting
Agricultural deer?
agricultural, I'm shooting GMO deer basically, like deer that are raised on cash crops, corn, beans. I mean, they're eating woody browse, but not exclusively.
Yeah.
So I think that probably has something to do with it.
Oh yeah, the meat is a lot different. It's not as gamey. I had recently had two friends over who they say their husbands hunt, but they're like, I don't know how much deer they come home with, but they're like, I've never had venison. I'm like, okay, well maybe you should try it. Anyways, I just sizzled some up in some butter and they were
Sizzle some up.
they
That's
were
right.
like, wow, this is amazing. Like,
You're right. If you cook it in the top of the line butter, the most tender cut, of course they're gonna like it. Fuck
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it's important to me that I am seeking to shoot a nice buck when I go hunting. But I'm also looking to literally to the brim fill our freezers. And I take it way harder when I don't fill the freezer every year than whether or not I shoot a buck. Like it's
Yeah.
great that I shot 2 bucks this year. I'd love to have shot, well, I'd love to have filled all of my buck tags and shot 4 doe. I would have loved that. And I still can,
Hmm.
but I'm way more stressed that we don't have a venison full freezer right now than I am anything related to these antlers. And I know that sounds weird to people, but when I say that I want to make sure that my family has enough fucking food for the year,
Hmm.
that is way more important to me than if it's all antlers. I don't care if it's fucking 6 doe,
Yeah.
but a lot of people don't look at it that way.
Well, we were also raw giving our dog raw food.
Correct.
And so
I'd like to start that again.
yes, me too. And so
I
I
need
think
more
we're at
deer.
a place now where we can start doing that. Um, and we try to use all of the deer, you know.
So the woman who just said I did not grow up eating raw wild game and was hesitant to try venison stew now gets mad when I forget to bring the liver home.
Oh yeah. Before you leave every time, I'm like, "Do you have your gallon bags? Are you gonna don't forget the liver." And you sometimes forget the liver. I
I
think you
do.
just don't want to deal with it.
Yep. When
Yeah.
I'm by myself, I definitely am in more of a hurry and I don't think about it. But I did just repack my gutting bag and I
Hmm.
put a gallon bag in there. So it's
Oh,
in there.
good. Yeah. But the liver is very nutrient dense. I like to grind it real small and then I'll freeze it in small quantities like ice cube trays and I'll slip it into the food. Honestly, I don't love the taste.
No.
No, I don't love the taste, but our oldest daughter loves when I add liver to our spaghetti.
Yeah. So
So,
odd.
huh?
So weird.
I
The
know.
shit that kid likes and doesn't like is blows my tits off. I
It's
don't
really good
understand
for her. But like I can slip it into meatballs pretty well if it's got a lot of seasoning. I don't like it in our hamburgers.
it.
I
Nope.
gotta say that. And I really don't like it in the stew because sometimes you'll just get a bite and you're like, nope, that
That
was
was
liver.
all liver. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks. So I'm still working on that. I did try to dehydrate it one year and I didn't love that because I was like, oh, I'll just make my own liver pills, just like
Yeah.
the name brand. But I think just a little cutting back on the amount I put in and just doing it a little more frequently in smaller amounts because
We
it's
haven't
really
gotten to
good.
the heart yet.
Oh, so you had two hearts you had brought home, and I didn't eat them. I have
Mhm.
not eaten the heart. However, since we homeschool our kids, we did do a science experiment where we dissected the heart. So we had a group of kids over, and there was a lot of, ew, this is so gross. This is so cool. Ew, it's stinky.
Yeah.
But it was an incredible learning experience for the kids to dissect the heart. Um, I know with the cow, I'll take the tallow and or the fat around the kidneys. I'm at a loss. What is that called? The
It's fat.
Yeah, it's fat. anyways, the tallow. I'll render it down. I've made
Into tallow. You'll take the fat and render it into tallow.
yes,
Yeah.
almost said a loss of words, but I've made lotion with it. I make our soap. I'll make like a bunch of soap for the year using that and infuse chamomile into some oil and then add that in there. So that's been a fun experiment to do. And now our kids prefer that soap over any other soap.
Hmm.
So,
Well, let's get back
yeah.
to the meat and how
Yeah.
it relates to the human physiological structure and why it's important.
Yeah. So a lot of my job is to help women navigate nourishing their bodies when they're pregnant so their babies can be as healthy as possible. And then once their babies are born, how to uh, transition them from breast milk or formula to food. And so
From the
when,
tit to the table.
yes, you're just, thank you.
Hmm.
Um, so
Oh,
yeah,
thank you.
so we talk a lot about jaw development in babies because that does play a role in breastfeeding, if there's tongue ties, oral ties, things like that. And so once a child gets to eating food, we want them to be able to gnaw on things. And that pressure of chewing is what's going to develop their jaw structure and shape. So not only is it the placement of the tongue in the mouth, we want the tongue to rest on the roof of the mouth and it's the pressure of that tongue that widens that upper bone structure that your nasal passages drop down into. Um, but in order to get a wide palate, we need to be gnawing on things. So if you look at ancestral diets and people, the children were gnawing on bones and they were chewing on the meat or sucking the fat off of like a rib bone or things like that. And it's those
They didn't
fats.
grow up on Go-Gurts?
No, we
Mm,
don't want to be eating Go-Gurts and baby
mm.
food. And so, yes, there is a time and a place developmentally for children to be doing this, but baby-led weaning is really the
Excuse me,
start.
what?
Baby,
Baby lead weaning? Is
yes.
that like a really heavy baby dick?
No,
Oh.
no,
Baby lead weaning is a Pearl Jam song.
no.
Mm.
But feeding a baby, instead of feeding a baby cereal,
Oh.
the marketing campaigns say, oh, you should feed your baby rice cereal. That is not a very nourishing food for a baby. But pureed liver is a very nourishing food for a baby. And if you grow up eating liver, you're just a savage. So
And
we
don't
all
we
want
all want
savage babies.
and what is the famous quote that everybody's passing around right now? It's like hard times create strong men create good times create
Yeah,
weak men create hard times.
yeah,
So
the circle.
all the savages from back in the day, your grandpas and then even beyond them, created all these good times to where you fucking faggots grew up eating fucking yogurt and Go-Gurt out of a squish packet. Now you have sunken fucking jaws and you look like pussies.
Well, that's a
No
different way to put it.
disrespect.
That's a different
Yeah,
way to put it.
I know.
But yeah,
You guys
eating.
think I only talk like that on the podcast. She hears it all. She knows everything. This is not a surprise to her.
No, it's not.
I just say it like the men want to hear it, and you say
It's
it very
fine.
professionally.
It's fine.
I like it. So that's it. And I don't think a lot of people think about that stuff. I mean, I know a lot of people think about how they know where their food is coming from when they harvest a deer, and that means a lot to them. And they're getting a lot of nutrients from it, and it is good for them. Um, but I don't think enough people really talk about specifically what you just said right there.
Well, yeah, and another thing, so we have sheep. I don't know if everybody knows that who's listening, but we have two sheep that I talked you into getting, which I know you're thrilled about.
Thank you for being honest.
Yeah. Well, they're very
Why am
cute.
I not thrilled about it though? Just tell everybody that.
Oh, well,
I mean, I like them, but tell everybody why I don't love everything about
okay.
it.
So we have this hilly section of the yard that's mostly grass, and Brett would complain about mowing over there because it's hilly, and at first we were concerned that he might roll off the lawnmower, and so
At first, I still am concerned that one of these days that lawnmower is going to land on top of
so
me.
I had an idea that if we got sheep, specifically South Down baby doll sheep, which are very cute. If you get a chance, look them up. They look like they're smiling. They're like giant, fluffy clouds.
Hmm.
The cutest sheep ever, besides Visalis sheep. Anyway, so I found a breeder and I was like, Brett, if we get these sheep, you will not have to mow over there and they'll be really cute and the kids can learn how to take care of them and they'll just be the perfect addition to our farm. And he loves me.
They are a perfect addition to the farm, but
But I did not expect them to have so much maintenance. They say sheep are easy to maintain. And one of our sheep, since he doesn't really walk on concrete, his nails grow very fast and wonky. And so we have to trim this darn sheep's nails like every 4 weeks. And not
feels like
just
more than that.
it more than that. They have to be sheared once a year, which is fine, you know.
How big would you say Walter is?
Oh, at least 150 pounds.
Are you fucking crazy?
Is he 200? I
He's
don't know.
probably 300
He's
pounds.
so fat. He's such a big sheep. And so, do you remember the first year we decided we'd shear them ourselves?
Yes. So, both we have two males,
We have two male intact
fully
rams.
intact.
Yes. And
The
they
biggest nuts you've ever seen.
do have enormous
World's
testicles.
biggest testicles.
So we decided we were going to shave them because we were like, we can do
Can't be that
anything.
hard.
It can't be that hard. So I bought the shears and we watched a couple YouTube videos because that makes you an expert on
Fuck
everything.
yeah.
So
Hunting included.
so we sheared the sheep and it was just a hack job. But by the time we got to their underbelly, I was very intimidated to shave their testicles. But you have to shave their testicles or they'll go sterile because they get too hot. And
Did you
so,
hear that? You have to manscape your sheep or his nuts get so hot that he becomes sterile.
yeah.
What a life.
So I didn't know this, but then anyway, Brett and I did not have the confidence to shave them down there. So I had to call around to the sheep shearers and tell them how I shaved my entire sheep, but I needed just his testicles.
Got a motherfucking shaved sheep nuts.
Thankfully, I found a guy, and I think he's just
He's excellent.
he's excellent, and that I pay him every year to come out and shave our sheep every year
And he's
since
done in like 5 minutes.
yeah.
He literally, him and his buddy, will flip the fucking sheep over and have them shaved, both of them, in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So, anyways, recently one of the sheep has a limp, and I had the vet out, and I could not figure out why the sheep has a limp. And we find out our sheep has arthritis. So ridiculous. Now,
So we have two sheep that don't eat the grass fast enough for me to not have to mow. So we have two sheep. I still have to mow. I got to grab a 300-pound sheep every 4 weeks and flip him onto his ass, which he doesn't want me to do, so that my wife can trim his toenails. And then I got to pay to have a guy drive out from the thumb area of Michigan to shave his nutsack every spring. And then I got to take their wool to Medina, Ohio, to a wool factory to have their wool processed for $200 and then drive back to Michigan for them to sit in a plastic bag in my garage on top of chairs that haven't been refinished. It's evolving into something else here.
that's my craft pile.
So we have two sheep now.
Yeah, so we
How
have
the
two
fuck
sheep.
did we get on this topic?
We're circling back to that now.
Let's bring it back home.
So the sheep are on this beautiful pasture grass. So they have like clover and all different types of grass, and they eat the plants as they walk out to the pasture, like the walnut leaves and burdock and all this stuff. So they have a very nice diet. But since the soil doesn't have enough minerals in it, we also have to provide them with a mineral block. There's not enough selenium in the soil. So if we don't give the sheep the mineral block, then they become depleted in their nutrients and it's very unhealthy for them. And so when I'm working with women, if we are not getting our minerals through food, then we're going to be depleted as well because our vegetables just don't have the same mineral content that our ancestors' vegetables had in them
Why?
because we've bastardized the
We
soil.
raped the shit out of it.
Yeah. And
Bigger,
so
faster, quicker to put on the shelf to last longer.
correct. And so we just
Yeah.
don't have very good soil health. So one thing that's very important to me here on our small farm is increasing the biodiversity of the soil and allowing everything to work together. So the sheep walk through the yard and their poop falls into the grass, and then that fertilizes the soil to build it up to be more nutrient rich. Because what builds good soil is manure and the biodiversity that comes with that. And so, one good way for pregnant women and children and just people in general to get minerals is through eating or having bone broth. And so taking the bones, roasting them, making sure that there's some meat and some fat on those bones and marrow inside, and then boiling that down into a nice gelatinous bone broth. And
How do you do it?
that's how I do it. Is I'll roast the bones. Sometimes I'll buy like a whole chicken if I'm doing chicken broth. I'll cook it up for the family and then throw the carcass into a crock pot with a little vinegar.
That's where I wanted you to get.
Yeah,
So I didn't know you put vinegar in it.
I usually put a tablespoon or so of vinegar. It
Why?
can be apple cider vinegar or white vinegar because it draws the minerals out of the bones
I
faster.
didn't know that.
Yeah. Um, so we do use the bones, like the leg bones from the deer and things like that
I'll
sometimes.
tell you, if you take your deer to a processor and you ask for the bones back, they will look at you funny.
That's
But
true.
they'll do it, but they
Yeah.
will look at you like you're fucking crazy.
But the bone broth is so important that mineral content that you're getting from the grass-fed animals is really what you need in your diet. So,
So
yeah.
you'll take, and I vividly remember this. You'll take the leg bone and you'll cut it in half, right? Did we cut them in half?
It depends on how long they give them to you in.
And
It
you
has to fit in my crock pot.
and then you roasted it in the oven,
Yes. You want to roast it in the oven first.
and then you put it in the crock pot. You fill the water to about an inch below the crock pot, and you just
hmm Add a little bit of
boil
vinegar
it on down.
and I boil it
Mm,
down. Yeah. You want to make sure that the water is able to circulate around the bone because if it's packed too much, some people will put like chicken feet in there, chicken necks, things,
Feet?
feet, the
Hmm,
feet of chickens because of the collagen that comes off of the feet,
hmm.
and the chicken necks and things like that, the beaks
I'm not ready for
on like
that.
ducks and stuff.
I'm not ready for that.
That's a proper way to do it. I'll just do it when you're not home.
Yeah, I believe that.
But we did do some duck. We had some Peking ducks one year, and
Hmm.
I did make bone broth, and that was the most beautiful, delicious bone broth I have ever had in my whole life. It was like golden butter that came out of those Peking ducks.
Yeah,
So
they're
that's
fat
probably
as
my
fuck.
favorite. They're so loud and they're so fat. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I like to use the whole animal. I think it's respectful. It makes me feel better about not wasting anything.
Hmm.
At some point, we've talked about tanning a hide. My craft pile is too high for my liking, as you pointed out. I have some wool that I need to do something with. Um, yeah, but I'll have a nice blanket for us next winter.
But like
Yeah.
to summarize the kind of looping this all back into we only barely scratched the surface on this. I realize that. Um, the need for human beings to, throughout their life, eat a uh what would you call that? Like a scavenger's diet, like meats and how would you refer to it? Like
We refer to it as like an ancestral diet, like a
ancestral diet, hunter
hunter-gatherer.
gatherer. Thank
Yeah,
you,
a
not a
hunter-gatherer diet.
scavenger.
But there's more to it. I mean, the mental part of going out and hunting your food and connecting to the environment, you can't love something if you don't have a relationship with it. And so for our children, I want them to understand nature. I want them to understand where their food comes from, how the work and the effort that goes into getting that food on our table.
Yeah,
Because I don't want them just to be consumers or to think that chicken comes in a plastic bag. You know,
that's 98% of the world today.
yes, it is.
That number's probably high.
It is probably a little bit high,
That's too high.
but I've gotten questions like, "Oh, is in the winter, do you bring your chickens inside?" It's like, "No, they poop a lot. I'm not going to bring my chickens in, but I will provide
People
them with
ask you if they bring them into our house.
yeah, like do we keep them in the basement in the winter time?"
I don't want to know who asks that.
What is, you don't
I don't want to know who asked that.
to
I will think less of those
clarify,
people.
you don't want to bring the chickens into your basement in the winter time,
No.
but you do want to provide them with an area that is out of the wind and cold with fresh water and
Yeah.
food. But the chickens are going to be healthier too if they're out scavenging for bugs
Yeah.
and they keep the mosquitoes down and things like that. And so when it comes to deer and hunting, you have population control, you have the hunters or the predators, and you want a very biodiverse landscape. And so I think hunters play a huge role in making sure that our land is full of biodiversity and not
Mm-hmm.
just an overpopulation of deer or an overpopulation of fox or coyote.
And that leads into another conversation that I'll have with other people this year about sex diversity among the deer, the sex ratio of deer in Michigan. And if you need biodiversity, you need genetic diversity
You
as
do.
well. And we're not, as hunters in Michigan, doing a very good job of harvesting enough does. And that is beating a dead horse. But you know, um, overall, it's important for humans to eat meat
Yes,
for so many reasons.
it's how we were designed.
Yeah.
We weren't designed just to eat
Yeah.
Go-Gurt packs.
And so share that with your fucking friends. Not you. I'm talking to the listener. Tell your fucking friends to stop being such a homosexual and eat some fucking meat, period. And shoot them a deer and have it processed and drop it off to them and say, eat this, you little fairy boys, eat this.
I do like that we've been processing
So
deer.
this year I have processed all of my own deer, and
Yeah.
I'm not great at it, but I'm getting better, and I'm going to keep getting better. Um, I think I still leave too much on the animal, but I'm still getting pretty good amount of meat off the deer. And I
Yeah.
just know I could do better. I've had some questionable shots this year, which has damaged some large chunks of meat on especially that last buck, but I'll get better.
Yeah. I think it's really good for a human being to go through to feel fulfilled when they set out to do something, they've trained to do it, they go out, they go through the process of hunting and killing this animal and then bringing it home to their family. There is uh, like a spiritual aspect to it.
Oh,
There's
100%. Yes.
that I think is really lacking in our society.
Yeah,
And so like even watching our kids do or having our kids watching us go through that and then, wrapping the meat in paper and figuring out which roast is what and now even the neighborhood kids are like, "Can we come down and watch how you do that?" And I think that's really great that they're interested in learning how to do that
I agree.
process. Yeah. And so that makes me happy because I feel like it's a positive step in the right direction.
I took the girls hunting this year.
Yeah.
We didn't have a very eventful time. My oldest could probably stand a long trip to a higher deer density area, but the youngest could not. And so we hunted close to home later in the season, and it's just such a tough property to hunt that, I'm bringing them to a tent, and it's like, am I really going to see a deer? I don't know. We did. Ava and I saw a deer on the walk out. Nothing while we were in the tent.
She had a
Uh,
great time.
she enjoyed herself.
I was not expecting her to have a good time because she's kind of like just a teenager. It's like,
We're at that
meow.
point where it's like I just want to text my friends.
But she came back and she was really excited to
Yeah.
have that time with you. So
Yeah.
hopefully you guys
So
do that
I'd,
again.
I'd like to continue to do that um, earlier in the season so that it wasn't so cold. Like she was really cold, Charlotte was really cold, but Charlie and I saw a deer while we were in the tent. It saw us first and it didn't like that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Waylon didn't really want to hunt this year, and I don't blame him. Like he's just not there yet, and I'm not going to force him. But I thought that was great.
Yeah.
They have seen the deer hanging in the barn and they know that we process it and they understand all that and they don't seem weirded out by it. They don't love it, but they don't seem terribly weirded out by it. They don't seem to like get grossed out when we eat it at all.
Oh no, that's
So that's great.
expected. Are you saying they're weirded out by the mounts in the house?
Uh-uh. I don't think
Oh.
they're weirded out by anything.
Oh, I don't think so either.
No. Like a lot of people are shocked when you say, um, we've the chickens died and it's like the kids have grown up around animals perishing
Yeah.
and they understand the circle of life.
Yes, and that was important for
Yeah,
me too.
on our little hobby farm.
Yeah.
They've seen me take animals out. I've had to. We used to have a hockey stick of death, and certain animals got the hockey stick of death when they misbehaved.
Yeah, like the rooster.
We had a rooster that would attack the kids, and I had to take out Scrappy.
Yeah.
Um,
He
You
got
know,
3 strikes
he
and
did.
he was done.
Yeah.
He was not
Listen,
amused.
I have a very off-topic question for you.
Oh,
Have you
yes.
ever fallen down the stairs? Just
As a matter of fact,
I want to
yes.
preface this by saying I feel like when a wife tells somebody I fell down the stairs, the number one question is,
Where was your husband?
"Do you need help? Like, what was your husband doing?" And I swear to God, I was down here working, and my wife missed. I don't know. Did you miss the last step?
I was 3 steps from the end and my foot just slipped and I came down and crashed right onto my tailbone.
Right on your turd cutter.
Well, it was a little higher. I was on my tailbone. It hurt so bad. And I haven't fallen like that in a while, but I'm doing okay. That was only Sunday morning.
That was just a couple days ago.
I
Yep.
was on my way to a brunch with some ladies, so I didn't walk
I
in there
wasn't
very
like I
confidently.
wasn't looking at the stairs, but I heard a noise and then I looked over and she was laying on the carpet over there holding her head and I thought she fell down the stairs and then went head first into the wall at the bottom of the landing there. Thank God that's not what happened. I don't
Mm.
know. Either way, that was not we didn't have to elaborate on that. That was just a goofy question I was going to ask you.
Yeah,
Have you ever fallen down the stairs? Yes, you have.
yes, I have.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Um, do you consider yourself superstitious?
No,
No, not even a little bit about anything?
no,
Numbers?
no.
Hmm,
I don't know why. I'm just not.
never have?
I don't feel like it. Like when I was in high school, it'd be like 11:11. I'd be like, oh, look, it's 11:11.
Hmm.
But it was just for
You don't
like,
have a song that you feel like gives you good juju, like nothing, no song, no clothing, no underpants,
no,
no scrunchie. You don't have a magic scrunchie,
no. I mean, I have a pair of earrings that I'm like, when I wear these, it's gonna be a good day. That's what it.
really?
Yeah, they're my like citrine earring.
Okay, so you do have lucky earrings then.
I wouldn't say that they're even lucky. They're just like they make me feel good. They just
But
make me feel, but they're not like
this is super.
superstitious.
This is super. If you feel like the earrings have magic powers, this is
I don't
superstitious.
feel like they have magic powers. I just like, damn, I
But
really
the
like these
earrings are going to
earrings.
cause you to have a good day. That's superstition.
I guess, but
Yes.
same with like, you put on a nice pair of pants.
Yeah.
You're just like, all right, I got myself together today. It's gonna be a good day. But
Okay.
no, I don't really have.
Okay.
Do you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
How
I,
many
it-
superstitious things do you have?
I think about. I mean, I take it to great lengths where I feel like if my facial hair has been on my person for too long, I need to shave it. Like if my beard, if I've had a beard for too long of a time and things are not going well in the woods, start from scratch. If my
Well,
hair,
because it could pick up on smells, you
well, no,
think?
not even
Like
smells,
too
just
much
like
butter
it's
buildup?
bad luck beard. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so like if it's a beard, then I got to give it a mustache. If it's a mustache
You
only, then
do
I got to
have
bring the
some
beard
bad luck
back.
facial hair.
Explain yourself.
Over the years, you've trimmed your facial hair into some bad luck facial hair.
Explain yourself.
Something that I don't find attractive.
Which is
What we were watching Modern Family last night. Remember when Phil had like a full beard
yes.
and Ava and I were watching it and Claire was like, you got to shave that. And he was like, oh, fine. So he comes downstairs and he's got like the fireman
So,
Fu Manchu thing
okay.
going on or whatever
Uh-huh.
that went down to his chin.
Okay.
And we both started laughing and we're like, oh my gosh, Dad would do something like that. And she's like, no, Phil, that's worse. And he was like, okay, fine.
So no to a Fu Manchu.
I don't know. I can't even remember what the bad facial hair was. There's a few that are not good.
It's when I actually use a straight razor on my face and have a full mustache, like the Magnum PI.
I don't love that. But
But when it's totally smooth
okay.
everywhere but there, you
Yeah,
don't
but
like
do you
that.
also have like pork chops at one
Oh,
point?
I've
Like
done the
the weird,
Wolverine looking pork chops.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the weird fireman, like the creepy fireman. That's bad luck beard.
Creepy fireman.
Yeah. Like where you have it,
Fu
because they have to
Manchu.
wear like the mask or
Correct. It's
whatever.
got to make a
Yeah.
seal.
But then
Mhm.
like if you have it like extra thick or it's like real styled,
Okay.
it's like the creepy fireman.
Okay.
That's what I call it.
Hmm.
It's a bad luck beard.
You used to not like my mustache because it made you think of a police officer and I was too authoritative or aggressive.
I didn't
You
like
still feel
that.
that way?
You've had nice mustaches in the past, but I don't love when you have a mustache.
Okay.
Just a mustache. Yeah.
Mhm.
The worst is when you shave your head.
So hair, like hair is a problem. So
I just know when you
so
shave
when
your
my
head, life is gonna
superstition,
get wild.
so because this is all part of it, I feel like I can get on a roll where there are clothing things that may be good luck, hairstyles. If things aren't working, I'll change my hairstyle because
Are
I
you
feel
talking
like the
about
hair.
things aren't working at hunting?
Yes,
Oh,
specifically superstitions as it relates to hunting. I just because you don't hunt, I just ask you superstitions in
I
general.
gotcha.
For me, if
Hmm.
hunting is going tricky, like if it's not going well, or if I'm a little off and I need to change something, I'll take it to hairdos. Like if my hair is a certain way, I'll change it.
Hmm.
I'll shave the mullet off. I haven't buzzed my hair in a long time because I do pick up on your vibe that you don't want me to do that.
Mm-mm.
So buzzed heads out of the question.
No.
Why?
Because historically in the past, when you have had a buzzed head, my life gets
So
ridiculous.
my buzzed hair causes reckless
Reckless
behavior.
behavior.
Mm, a reckless
So
buzz
if
cut.
I see you with a buzzed haircut, I'm going on vacation
Like you can't get
alone.
yourself into trouble with
Well, I'm
fucking dog.
older now. I feel like when next time you buzz your hair, then I'll go on vacation and get reckless.
Get away from it.
No, I'm just
You
kidding.
got to take the kids with you. So how reckless can you be?
Why do I have to take the kids with me?
Them's the rules.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Huh. I guess we'll have to have a
All
conversation about
right.
that.
Fine. We don't have to. Uh listen, I'm gonna ask you one more silly question, then we're gonna end on a serious question.
Okay.
Not like serious, but like a more appropriate hunting wife podcast related question.
Okay.
I've asked you this before. I'm gonna ask you this again for the people to listen to.
Oh, okay.
If you were born with both male and female genitalia, she already knows where this is going. Would you rather have a big, fat, veiny cock or an attractive yet meaty vulva? Remember, you were born with both. So will, the way you answer this question will lead you into how you have chosen to live your life sexually. Do you want a big fat cock or a big attractive meaty vulva?
Well, I think we had a conversation about this. Like, am
Well,
I?
but because I said vagina and now I have clarified it to
I
vulva.
do appreciate you making
You
that
are welcome. I
change.
like to make my guests feel comfortable and welcome in my home.
Oh,
Our home.
um, goodness. So I'd have a very large veiny cock, but
A
also
fat veiny cock. Or
what? Whoa. Hold on. But I'd also have a very small vulva.
yes, wimpy, less attractive,
Hmm.
not fun.
Do I have testicles?
I don't know. Do hermaphrodites typically have a
It can
penis
be.
and
It
testicles?
can be any way. But I don't know if I'd want to have a
Um,
penis without testicles.
for entertainment purposes, no testicles.
I know that that can happen sometimes, but then I just have like
Just so we're clear.
wimpy labia in place of
It's
testicles.
very fun to me to think about all of the people that are hearing this for the first time ever, and they're thinking of you right now
Yeah.
with a big old dick,
Mm,
but
great.
little wimpy vulva.
I'm also thinking about that.
Yeah,
I don't know how I
but
feel.
I know you, and the fact that other people are thinking about this is really fun to me.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're entertained.
You're welcome.
But if I had very large labia, I have a very small
I
penis.
didn't say labia. I said vulva.
Vulva. Oh. Do I have breasts?
You have a regular workman's like penis, a very blue collar penis, but a big, beautiful vulva.
Do I have breasts?
Yeah. Well, no, no, no.
Well, 'cause that would change
Uh,
it.
do you have breasts and a big fat cock?
Well, this will help me to figure. I mean,
I never thought I'd say that
I'd
on this
have
show.
more testosterone if I had a
So then, if
large
you had a big
penis.
fat dick, maybe you don't have titties.
Well,
But
that'd be hard. I
that's
think
what she said.
you gotta, for goodness sakes, that is a very hard choice to make.
That's what she said. I'm gonna keep doing it.
Stop.
That's
It
what she
really
said.
depends on my hormone levels. I know that's a
Okay.
nerdy way to go
Again,
about
for
it.
entertainment purposes, if you have that big
I
hog, then you do not have breasts. But if you have a small,
could I find
frail
underwear
penis,
that fit?
yeah. But listen, let's talk. Come on, get a hold of yourself. If your penis is small and your vulva is big,
I
then
know,
you
but
do have breasts. So in
I'd
that
go this. I'd
scenario,
go that
yeah.
way.
So
I'd rather have a juicy vulva and then just a worthless small penis.
sorry, boys. Sorry to all you unhung fellas. She just called us worthless.
You
I
messed
still made 3 babies with it, but yeah, I am worthless.
You set me up.
Nope, I
You
didn't
set
set
me
you up at
up.
all. You chose your own words.
Imagining that the penis is not significant in relation to the vulva, that it's an accessory. It's not working.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Is
think
that,
you answered
are
that
you
very
happy?
well. I am
Thank
curious though
you.
if you answered it that way because you are currently a woman
I am currently a woman, but I also don't
and you
want
have
to,
always been a woman.
I
I want to make
don't
that
want to
abundantly clear.
cart around a giant penis between my legs.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be,
Carted around.
I don't, I've been pregnant 3 times. I just feel like it's extra to carry. If I have breasts, I'm already carrying those. I don't know.
You've answered it perfectly. It's everything I could have hoped for.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Everything
Good.
I could have hoped for. I hope
Great.
that Uncle Adam and his wife Kelly listen to this while they're cooking and they have to take a knife pause so they don't cut their fingers off while they laugh at this.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I hope that there are people that have to pull over on the side of the road for the tears that are streaming from their face as they listen to that. I pray for you all and I thank you for your time. And for one last question, I'd like to get your perspective on in your circle of friends and people that you run with in the natural in the natural community. You're in touch with probably more people who should be experiencing the outdoors and or hunting than anybody I know,
Hmm.
you personally. But I don't get the vibe that you know that many people whose husbands hunt and or women hunt and or children hunt. And in the news,
Hmm.
according to Michigan's DNR, hunters are on the decline.
Yes.
Why do you think, based on what you experience with the people that you know and the circles that you run in, why do you think it's possible that hunters are on the decline?
Hmm.
Because I have a theory.
Mm.
I'm just curious what yours is.
Well, I think this is just one of the aspects is that when I'm thinking about the people that I know who are natural and live off the land, some of those are
So
people are
that are
farmers,
what?
like more natural, live off
Oh,
the
okay.
land, like they're farmers and they grow vegetables or they
Mhm.
raise meat on their land, like meat rabbits and things like that. And their husbands hunt. Um, but even for the more natural quote unquote people, I think there's such a push for like supplements these days that
Mm.
people are like consuming supplements rather than eating the actual food. I mean, when I talk to women, especially
What does
young or
that
new
boil
mothers,
down to at the root?
consumerism,
At the root, it is
cutting corners.
easy.
It's easy, but
It's
it
the easy button.
leaves you feeling not whole.
Correct.
And it doesn't nourish your body the same way that actually eating the food done correctly is
Right.
going to give you. And so I think that's like a huge breakthrough or that I have to convince people of.
Hmm.
And so, yes, it's the easy way. People also aren't familiar with dealing with death or,
Mm.
you know,
Okay.
killing their own animals and eating them, raising
Hmm.
them. I struggle with that, like
Sure.
we have a pig. I don't want to eat our pig
No.
because he's more of a pet when we use his droppings and whatever for fertilizer and things like
Hmm.
that. But I would not eat him unless I really had to.
Right.
But I think like we've talked about this, if we had a ranch where we were raising cattle, or even if we had 6 cow that we raised to eat, it's different. But I also think it's different to go out and hunt a deer that you haven't had to keep up with feeding all the time. And I prefer that actually
Yeah.
than having to keep up with a cow on several acres at this point. I think that's an opportunity. So, yes, I think people are choosing the easy button just because they don't know the the wholeness that can come out of learning to hunt, connecting to your environment, tracking that animal, working, getting the kill, bringing it home, butchering it yourself, then cooking it up. And I think that humans were designed to do that. And, we struggle with a lot of mental health issues in our society, a lot of mineral deficiencies and things like that. And so I hope that people hunt more, people reconnect to the environment. And yeah,
That is not something that people in my circle ever talk about. Um, but it's interesting because there are meetings that the DNR has and the Natural Resources Commission have in Lansing monthly, I guess. And there's discussion on why are hunter numbers declining. And it's never I mean, I don't see my friends talk about the nutritional aspect of it. I'm sure there are probably people there that talk about that. Um, and shame on me, I don't go enough. Um, I really had intentions of going this time in December, but your truck broke.
oh,
We had to take it in, and so we were down
very
to one car.
unfortunate.
And
Yeah.
so anyway, excuses, right? Everybody's got excuses. They're like assholes. I would like to go more. I would like that's it. I feel like people should talk about that. I feel like there's not enough. But the number one thing that I always think about when I go to these meetings and I think about the problems that we have in our state with a ratio imbalance and all these things that people are bitching about is it all comes down to education.
Yes.
You can give people options and you can take options away to try and solve the problem, but everything always boils down to education. And there's a generation of people in this state that think about hunting a particular way. There's a people in the middle, and then there's people at the other end that think of it one way, and then there's a whole group of people that are anti-hunters that think of it completely opposite, and they don't see eye to eye. And the hunter community is starting to come together a little bit, and that's great. But everyone always says,
Mm.
what is the DNR or the NRC going to do for me to fix my problem? And in my opinion, it's all education. The DNR or the NRC has to teach the citizens of Michigan, of this state, and any state that there is a wildlife commission, why something is better.
Mhm.
Why? Not I'm telling you it's better. Here's why. The problem is the DNR and the NRC are spending so much of our tax dollars testing things. There's never a resolution. There's never a solution. It's like, oh, we need another $30 million to test for CWD for another 50 fucking years. Well, stop. Stop fucking testing. Just accept that it is what it is. Let's solve a real fucking problem.
Mhm.
Uh, I always hear people talk about access.
Yeah.
So I went a long way around the farm. Like your response to me was nutritionally based, and what I always hear people say is, "Oh, access. I have nowhere to hunt," and that's a real problem. Is
Mhm.
that people think of deer hunting as I have nowhere to go to do it. And
Yeah.
that's a big thing. Like access is very difficult. You know how much I try to get access to people's properties to hunt, and I don't hardly ever have people respond to me. And when I
Mhm.
do, those people are all either already hunting it or family is already hunting it. I am blessed with splendid hunting properties, and I have no problem shooting deer, truthfully. But the number one reason I hear is access. And so, but I do like your response because I feel like it's somebody's responsibility to educate human beings on why they should be eating a nutritionally dense and a variety of things. I just nobody's doing it, or not enough people are doing it.
I think it really, I mean, from my experience counseling families is no one's going, like even people aren't going to be ready to hear it till they're ready to hear it from the person that they're ready to hear it from. And so, but they're also not going to listen to you if they don't trust you, if they don't respect what you're saying. And I do think it starts at an individual level, like, for you, inviting your brother to go hunting with
Hmm.
you, and now how he is really into hunting.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the beauty when it comes to hunting is
Hmm.
it's not, you can't rely on the DNR to be educating people about hunting. It's almost like they need to get invited to hunting, like just kind of like a sidebar. So I grew up, I had never gone to a golf course. I didn't think I could. I was able to go to a golf course because I
Mm.
didn't reach the certain financial threshold to
Mm.
step onto a golf course. That's just how I grew up. And I always thought that golfing was for very rich
For rich
people
people.
and I had to become a private member
Huh.
and that's the only way I could get on a golf course.
Never heard you say this before.
Yeah.
Huh.
So when you were like, let's go golfing, I was like, I can go
White
golfing.
ladies can golf?
Do I have to be a member or something? And you're like, no, you can just go like twilight hour or whatever. And I was like, what?
Hmm.
But this whole time in my mind, I thought you had to be a rich person to get on a golf
Mm.
course.
Interesting.
So when you apply that for hunting, getting on private land, maybe people don't know where
Yeah.
to go, they don't know what kind of equipment to have, but part of that would be like when you're processing a deer to invite the neighbors to come over, like the dads
Yeah.
with his kids, show them how to process the deer and what goes into them. And then maybe they would talk about bows. And then you're like, oh, well, I feel more confident picking a bow now because Bret told me like this is a good one to have rather than just walking in and trusting and dropping $600 on a bow.
There on top of that, I'm sorry to cut you off.
That's
There
okay.
is nothing more intimidating than walking into an archery shop.
Yeah, I know I did it. Remember when you bought me that bow and then I had to go in and get the
Oh,
arrows?
that was a weird place.
And the
Yes.
guy was like, "Well, let's shoot your bow." And like he took me back to the plate, like I don't even know what you
The
call it, the
range.
lane,
Yeah.
the range, and like showed me how to do the whole thing and how to shoot. And I just tore up my forearm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an experience,
You're right.
but it was
And it's
intimidating.
not that it has to be that way, but what ends up happening is you go to an archery shop and the majority, if not all the people in there are very well versed in everything that they're already looking at or talking about. And you may have a lot of questions and you don't realize that those people are going to help you, but inherently these people already know so much. I'm going to sound like an idiot and nobody wants to sound like an idiot.
That's true too. But
And
if
I'm
you
telling you
had a
right now,
friend,
the people at Sunrise Archery in Fenton are incredibly knowledgeable and they will help you. They're fabulous.
yeah,
Go to Sunrise, they will help you. But it is intimidating. And I go in there all the time and I still feel intimidated sometimes because
yeah.
I don't know enough.
So I just think it starts like
Yeah.
inviting somebody out into the woods
Yes.
and sharing your passion and why you do it, or making a meal and having them come over and be like, "Oh, like what's in this chili?" And you're like, "Oh, this is venison," and talking to them about how you got it. Because, when in past Christmases, we usually have a tenderloin
Yeah.
or Easter or something, we're having venison. And when we have extended family over, we end up talking about like where this meat came from and
Hmm.
how that happened. And so I really think that's how it starts, is the education among your neighbors and your friends and with,
Yeah.
your kids and their friends more than the DNR. Because unfortunately, the way that their program is set up is to use government funding for testing. And I know that some of them or some places will put money into education, but I don't know if it's really hitting to the heart of your neighbors to give them the confidence to like get into the woods.
Yeah.
So at least that's my experience.
I like it. I think it's a good a spot as ever to finish. Would you like to talk about your profession and how if there's anybody that listens to this that may be interested, or do you want to completely Oh, I have one more question.
You can ask your question. What's your question? If it's another, would you?
How often do you shake your head in disbelief at what I post, say, or share?
Oh gosh, almost everything.
Everything.
No, not
That's too
everything.
much.
90% of what you share.
90? That's so high.
Well, yeah,
It's okay.
we've had
I'm
these
not gonna stop.
conversations
Yeah.
before. I know.
Okay.
But, opposites attract. I'm more like conservative in many ways.
I That's a great lead into my what I was going to ask you is, do you want to even associate your business with this podcast, or do you want to completely disassociate yourself with it?
It's
You can
fine.
tell people what you offer, and if they know anybody that may be in need of those services,
Yeah,
how they can reach out to you. You're welcome to do so. If you don't want to be associated with me, fuck
that's
off.
fine. So I host lactation classes, breastfeeding classes for families. I do have
You have
classes.
to be a woman, guys. You cannot just go to the breastfeeding classes and look at tits. It doesn't
Hey,
work that way.
there's no actual breasts in my class that I teach. I mean, that are like used as props.
Okay.
There's not. So,
So they're all there. They're just not out.
yes, it's not like
She
that.
doesn't open the class by saying, "All right, ladies, tits out."
No.
Okay,
But
which is unfortunate.
I do have a
That'd
class
be a good icebreaker.
online at my website, which is
Also, no
betterbirthconsulting.com.
tits.
Huh?
There's no tits in that one either.
No, it's a professional
Yeah,
business.
it is.
Yeah.
She's the real deal, guys and gals. I don't think there's any women that listen to this.
So, anyways, there's a class online that you can watch at any time. And then I also offer virtual lactation visits, which, we can do through Zoom or FaceTime, but I offer those to women all over the country. And then I do in-home visits as well.
And you've been doing this for a long time.
A long time. Yeah, I was working as a doula for a long time and I went to midwifery school for several years and then didn't want to be on call so much, you know. And now I mainly focus on lactation. That keeps me busy enough just with classes and just education. So, yeah,
The woman knows her stuff. She's been doing natural birthing stuff for a
50,
very long time.
almost
And
16 years now.
I was going to continue to make
Mm.
breast jokes there, but I'll stop because it's very serious. If you or any of your loved ones need lactation care, nursing, breastfeeding questions care, she's very professional. What's the name of your company? How can they find you?
Better Birth Consulting.
BBC.
Yeah,
My son brought that up the other day.
he did bring that up.
My
He
son,
learned
my
so
12-year
much
old.
in the hockey locker
Yeah,
room. Um,
where men are made.
I'm also on Instagram and Facebook at Better Birth Consulting. So that's where you can find me.
Send your wives, your girlfriends, your moms, your nieces, your cousins, whoever may have breastfeeding questions. Send them her way.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer them.
She's
They can send
she's
me a
uh
message.
she's an angel in the areola community. The
Yeah,
areola
that's my
angel.
slogan. The areola.
The areola angel.
Gosh, I'm really missing out on a resource. If you could
I'm a
come up with
fucking marketing wizard and
you are.
nobody uses my services. Nobody. Well, thank you for joining me tonight, honey.
I'm so happy you had me on your
I'm so happy you
podcast.
did it.
Thanks.
Thanks everybody for listening. We will talk to you all soon.
Bye.